Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. JC here with another video on Action Taimanin. Today, we're going to talk about Maya Cordelia. But before we start, don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe if you need the content. So Maya Cordelia is the newest character added into the game. She's considered a collab character and will be available for a limited time. She's going to cost 1,800 gems once she becomes available for purchase with gems. And she's a suppressed type, human type character. Her stats are about 6,000 for HP, attack and defense, and 7,000 for critical. This means that she's a well-rounded character. She doesn't excel at any particular stat, but that's something that we can take advantage of. Her leader skill, Sword Master. Every time Maya dodges at her last attack, she teleports to the nearest enemy and quickly attacks 5 times. Maya becomes invulnerable during the teleport attack. Basically, this means that she has a follow-up attack. You use a skill, you dodge, and that activates the follow-up attack, and you're going to hit the enemy multiple times. Since you're invincible while you're doing the follow-up attack, this is extremely useful, as you won't take damage from incoming attacks, and since this is considered a melee attack, you're going to be very close to the enemy, it is a very important aspect of her kit. Now, to talk about Maya's performance and how to use her, we need to take into consideration her new weapons. She shares weapons with Ingrid and Ragnarok. So, she's going to be able to use Blue Lightsaber when you're starting. She's going to be able to use Candy Saber if you're facing demons. And she's going to be able to use the Rebellious weapon just to face any kind of enemy. This is a general purpose weapon and it's pretty strong. But what else does she has? Well, of course she has her own gacha weapon, Alicia. So this one says, decrease the character's skill cooldown time by 8% up to 16%. And for 5 particles, drop a large number of swords forged with focus energy and inflicts damage equal to 600% of attack up to 1200% of attack. So the important part of this weapon is the fact that it has cooldown reduction. I don't remember any other weapon having cooldown reduction. It is an extremely strong effect, but unfortunately, weapons want to have damage increase, basically. If a weapon doesn't have damage increase, it's not going to perform as well. And while enhancing the cooldown is going to be useful because we use the skills and those deal more damage than the basics, is not going to be strong enough. Trust me. This is meant to synergize with her leader skill, as reducing the cooldown means that you can just cycle into the skills more effectively and just use a skill, then follow-up attack, skill, follow-up attack, skill, follow-up attack, and you repeat the pattern. You transition between your 3 skills. Even so, we want damage increase, so this, unfortunately, is not going to be that useful. And what about the other weapon, the ambitious weapon? Well, that's going to be Cordelia. And it says, while Sword Master is active, dealt damage increases by 20% per attack, and it's a minimum of 5 attacks. But there's more. Every time the Sword Master is activated, its number of attack increases by 1 up to 6, increases damage dealt to all enemies by 50%. A flat damage increase is appreciated. More damage increase on the leader skill that we are meant to abuse is good. And increasing the number of hits on that leader skill is even better. Let me just show you. I'll use Maya. I'll put the farming build. It's not the best build, but it is just a whatever build we can use that has the ambitious weapon. So I'll just use whatever attack. Not that one. Okay, and then follow-up attack. Look at the number of hits, okay? Now I'm gonna repeat that and look at the number of hits. it increased. And if I do it again, it's going to go up and up and up. Every time the number of attack increases, which is great, because this means that you're going to have more iframes, you're going to have more damage. It is really, really useful. So now let's go to the skills and let's check what she can offer. Starting with Troy's Stockades. Troy's Stockades. Okay, so this is a melee attack, dash attack, 9-second cooldown, performs a continuous attack by stabbing rapidly 3 times. Pretty straightforward. And this one works on the main. With the main green, increases defense by 10% for 7 seconds. Main blue reduces speed of enemies hit by 10% for 10 seconds. Main red increases attack range of the last attack by 100%. Increases the range. Okay. Then, Judgment Punishment. Range attack, hold the bait, 11-second cooldown. Creates 3 giant swords to plunge down on enemies. 1 blue reduces speed of the enemy's hit by 10% for 10 seconds. 2 blue increase attack range by 25%. And 3 blue increases skill damage by 150%. Orbital Slash. Melee attack. During normal attacks, hold attack. 11-second cooldown. Infuse the sword with energy to extend the length of the blade and slam down to deal AoE damage. 2 green increases the defense by 20% for 7 seconds. 2 blue reduces the speed of the enemy hit by 20% for 10 seconds. 2 red increases attack range by 40%. Tholus Quintet. Okay, so 12 range attack, hold attack, 12-second cooldown, deploys a dome sharpened barrier that inflicts bind on enemies inside, and fires sword energy in the barrier to deal AoE damage for 5 seconds. 1 green increases attack range by 25%. 2 green adds 3 additional attacks. 3 green increases the skill critical rate by 15%. Cordelia style swordsmanship. So this is the basic enhancer, and it turns the basics into range attacks. Fires swords energy along the trajectory of the basic attack. Increases damage by 10% with 1 supporter, with 2 supporter increases damage by an additional 20%, and with 3 supporters increases particle charge amount by 50%. Then, Southern Cross. This one is going to be a range attack, double dash, 14-second cooldown. Places a cross mark on the 3 nearest enemies to unleash a range attack. 2 green increases attack range by 30%. 2 blue adds 1 additional attack. 2 red increase damage by 20% for 10 seconds. Swords Barrier. Immediately before enemy attack, dodge. 14-second cooldown. Envelops oneself in a barrier of energy, increasing speed and defense by 20% for 6 seconds. Additionally, grants super armor when the slot effect is applied. This works with 3 of the same color, so 3 green increases effect duration by 3 seconds, 3 blue additionally increases speed by 10%, and 3 red restores HP by 10% of damage dealt. Here it says of damage dealt, but no, it's 10% of your max HP, because this is not a damaging skill. Then, Sword Waltz. Melee attack, hold the bait, 10-second cooldown. Infuses the sword with energy to extend the length of the blade and perform a consecutive attack ahead. 1 red increases attack range by 40%. 2 red adds 2 additional attacks. 3 red increases critical damage by 250%. Accelerated Sniper. Range attack, hold attack, 13-second cooldown, gathers energy in the sword and releases it forward in a straight line to deal AoE damage. 2 green increases defense by 20% for 10 seconds. 2 blue increases range attack by 20%. 2 red increases damage by 20% for 10 seconds. And then Sword Territory. Range attack, Immediately after enemy attack, dodge. That means this is a counter. 7-second cooldown. When doing an instant dodge, counter attack with a sword stab, deploys a circular sword barrier and rapidly retreats backward. Restores 10%, restores HP equal to 5% of the damage dealt. Inflicts bind on enemies within the barrier's range and reduces their speed by 50%. This is the rainbow skill. 1 green increases attack range by 50%, 1 blue decreases skill cooldown by 20%, 1 red increases skill damage by 25%. So, this is awkward, because this character is not synergistic enough with what the game offers. It is weird. So, number one, we have to analyze sword territory, because this skill is very awkward. And you're gonna see that just by testing this. I'm just going to make the enemy attack. And look, I recover HP. Nice. But what if I do that? Oh, okay, wait. And I immediately dash. I didn't even deploy the debuff field. This is the first time that happens to me. Usually I just omit the healing, which is also not good. Yeah, this time I omitted the healing. When you play, you usually button mash. At least I do that. Tell me if you do that. Especially when dodging. And the fact that I have to be extremely careful with my dodges is annoying, because I would want to heal with the counter, but if I don't do it properly, I might just activate the leader skill. Yay! I mean, I would have guessed by the definition that the counter attack happened instantaneously and the healing would happen just as I deploy the debuff field. But no. It happens after deploying the debuff field, after teleporting and just repositioning. It is very, very bad, because this is an excellent skill on paper, but on practice, it just doesn't synergize with Swords Master, which is the main appeal of this character. That's already a big drawback, because this is the healing skill that you want to use on most builds. On red, we can rely on Swords Barrier. Red is probably the best color for Maya Cordelia, since it has the most damage. And it also has sources of damage increase, as you can see. By using Southern Cross or Accelerated Sniper, along with Troy's Stockades and Swords Wall, you're going to deal massive damage. It is pretty easy to deal with the enemies. The blue build revolves around control, which is pretty similar to what Azusa does. Azusa is a selfish attacker, and Maya is also a selfish attacker. And also Phantasmin does that selfish attacker, but also her blue build, just like Azusa's and Maya's, revolves around speed control. So our main skill that deals decent damage has speed reduction, then Stockade has more speed reduction, then Cross has, no, not Cross, which was it? Orbital Slash? Orbital Slash has speed reduction, and Accelerated Sniper, no, this one doesn't have. Which one have? Yeah, Sword Barrier is these four, the ones that you want to use on blue. Sword Barrier is going to provide the speed increase so that you can take advantage of these. Oddly enough, Maya is not a fan of a speed increase, because she takes advantage of being slow or just at her normal speed, because that gives her more iframes when using the leader skill. That's funny. And then we have the green build. which uses Tholus Quintet along with Estocade, Orbital Slash, and Accelerated Sniper. You can also use Sword Barrier depending on what you want. And these skills revolve around increasing your defense, which is a gameplay style that doesn't quite exist on green. We barely have things that increase defense, especially generic defense. We have, of course, Hisui for anti-boss. We have Punisher Yukikaze for anti-human. Anya Winchester for machine type characters. You see where I'm going? Like, there's not that many. Like, there's one good defensive option or balanced option that is Parrot, but Maya doesn't debuff the enemies. And there's also, of course, Kirara, yes. And of course, for healing, we have Akane. But honestly, the important builds on green are gonna be Kowaru, Akane, we have Suruga, we have Nanao, we have... where is she? It's down here. Yeah, we have Armored Saika, we have like many things that revolve around pure damage. And for whatever reason, she wants to be a selfish tank that doesn't even have great healing. Yeah, you can see where this is going. That's not great. Nonetheless, Maya has some good things on her kit. We have to acknowledge the fact that she has great AoEs. She's very useful for farming. Like, extremely so, in my opinion. She's gonna be great for the early content as well as mid content. Mid game is gonna be very good with her. She abuses her sword master very well. And another thing that we have to mention before we start with the testing is the fact that this character offers 40% item drop. That's over here. Item drop, item drop, item drop, and item drop. So each item drop is gonna give 10%. And right now, the best characters for item drops are these. We get a 90% item drop chance. With her, you're gonna have 100%. It's gonna be guaranteed that the affinity effects are gonna give you an item. That's valuable. I cannot deny that. It is very valuable that you definitely want to grab a copy of her just for the affinity effect. Because gacha games are 95% farming. So, yeah. That's a thing. Now let's test her. Let's see how effective she is. We're gonna start with Red. I might have to try this a couple times. So, I'm gonna use the ambitious weapon because honestly, she struggles with challenging content. She deals a lot of damage on standard content, but not enough on challenging content. So I need to build her aggressively. And as such, I'm gonna need the best weapon for her. So I'm gonna be using critical damage Magatamas with wind element, whatever attack Magatamas on the subslot, whatever weapon on the subslot, 5 out of 5 plus 15, both of them. I'm gonna be using Sword's Wall, Accelerated Sniper, and Sword Barrier because I need the HP recovery. Then I'm gonna be using Kara Cromwell, along with Bakali Ingrid and Fuyutsuki. I'm going like hyper offensive here. These are the stats of the skins. Stat training is max out. And these are the formations. I went with defensive formations and a bit of damage. Because God, she struggles with tower. Like, the fact that she doesn't excel at anything, it's pretty bad for the most part. If she had even more damage, she would be better, but no. Let's see. Waltz. And then I follow up. And then sniper and follow up. And then I heal, waltz, and follow up. Nice, nice, nice. As you can see, it's just a matter of using the follow up attack. Now, here comes the tricky part. I accelerate and follow up. I use this active to deal massive damage. And then I accelerate. Oh no! I got interrupted. No! That's bad. Okay, one more time. Try it. Yeah, like that. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. Follow up. So, I'm like pretty squishy. You don't know how squishy I am. Even with these defensive effects. But I have been dodging and activating the follow-up attack, which makes me invincible. The reason why the ambitious weapon is so good is because it's not just increasing the attacks, it's extending your invincibility. And that means, wait just 1 second, yes. That means that you have a bigger window of opportunity to just eliminate the targets. Okay, great, great, great. This and ultimate, ultimate, ultimate. Come on, ultimate. Yeah, that should deal decent damage. Yeah, the thing is the invincibility. Oh god, no. The invincibility is what keeps me alive. And when I have to think, because it's tricky here. When you activate the invincibility and you get near the enemy is going to probably attack you. And by extending the number of attacks and the duration of the invincibility, it's likely that the enemy is going to finish their attack and you're going to basically evade that attack that would have killed you because you got close to the enemy. So that's why it's so good to use this. Oh, come on, there. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. As you can see, she's a squishy. She's too squishy, unfortunately. Dedicating most of my build on the formation department to damage reduction. It is bad that she's this squishy. But you're not gonna have troubles with normal content, just so that you know. She just struggles with challenging content. She demolishes expert difficulty, just so that you know, on farming days. So let's see, on farming quest. Let's see. Now we're gonna go blue. For the weapons, we're gonna remain the same for all of the builds. Now we're gonna be using Judgment Punishment, of course. We're going to use Orbital Slash and Trios Estocades. All of these to control the enemy. I could change whichever I want into Barrier, but I don't want that speed increase. I would like the defense increase, but I'm fine because this is not going to give me HP recovery. But this is going to give me HP recovery. I could always use Sword Territory, but I'll try that at the very end so that you can see my performance with that skill. Now, as I was saying, we're using Kurune, we're using Mari, and we're using Sora. Since I'm getting hit, I'm gonna be healing constantly, and I'm gonna just have damage, and if not, just 30% damage increase. Unfortunately, being a suppressed state character, the blue build is not generous with those ones, nor with humans on the damage department. On the defensive department, we do have something like Asagi, but we have generous supporters for team content, not for solo content. So Yeah, that's something. Let's see. So now we're doing another run. And I'll just basically do this. And it just, with her, is just abusing her follow-up attack. Basically, that's your objective. You just want to keep spamming your follow-up attack. Ah yeah, it's this one. It's dash attack. Nice, nice, nice. Reposition. Yeah, I'm gonna comment more on the skills later, but let's focus on the run right now. I'll just do this. Yeah. And now I'll start by activating this so that I have the super buff. Nice, great, great, great. Damage, damage, damage. Yeah, fortunately, like having this much damage reduction makes it so that I don't have to worry too much. And the passive healing is just great as usual. There. Nice, 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 nice. Perfect. Yeah, fairly simple. And I'll be able to just abuse the super buff paired with the ultimate on the next wave. Just to clear the enemies and see if I manage to defeat the mid boss. I'll just dash attack and done. Almost done. Okay. Just 1 second, just 1 second. Uh-oh, I am next to the enemy, so I'll just reposition and use the ultimate, dealing massive damage. Okay, that's not great, but okay. Okay, good enough, at least. Yeah, the invincibility is just amazing, guys. It is gorgeous. Now, green doesn't work quite well. I don't expect to win. Do I have a build, in fact? I do have a build. I don't expect to win, guys, just so that you know. So, what am I using here? Tholus Quintet, Orbital Slash. I think I would rather use Barrier in this case. I prefer defense that doesn't force me. The problem with Barrier, just so that you know, is that a perfect dodge is not able to proc a follow-up attack. So keep that in mind. Then, what do I have on the last one? Orbital Slash? Oh, yeah, I already had the Sword Barrier. This is a 20. Yeah, I guess I'll go with Estocades, just so that I'm able to quickly activate the follow-up attack. Okay, I'm gonna use Akane, I'm gonna use Kaoru, and I'm going to use Hisui because I do need damage reduction. I would use Kirara if I had more copies, but I don't have enough copies of Green Kirara. Let's see. What's the command? It's hold attack. Okay. And then I do this. Dash attack and... Nice. It is not bad, the AoE of the green skill. But saying it's a good skill, it's a bit of a stretch. Okay. So I'll just do this. Nice. Okay, good. Excellent. And it's done. I almost have the ultimate. Considering that I'm not like obliterating everything super quickly. I would rather use that as fast as possible. I'll heal, I'll use the ultimate. I'll dash attack. Not bad, not bad. At least, well, I use the ultimate, that's why. But, I mean, I can manage. Great, 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 great. And also, ensnaring the enemies while... ensnaring the enemies is good, but the limitation of doing so while they're on the AoE of my skills, because there's 2 skills that do that, it is not my favorite thing. I mean, I have reached this point, which is better than I did on my testing, I can tell you that. Not bad. Not bad. Okay, there, nice. Healing and everything. There. Nice. Okay, good, good, good. Dash attack. I'll keep the ultimate because I don't want to deal with the next wave. Okay, good enough, good enough. So, the first thing I need to do is use the ultimate. Nice. And then I use the follow-up attack. Dash and follow. Oops. Oh. I'll have to just evade right now. I need to use the healing, otherwise I'm dead. There, nice. Not bad. Now I use this and I kill something. I don't know what, but I did. It was the mid-boss. Okay, it was the mid-boss. Yeah, the invincibility is extremely broken, and as long as you transition into your skills, you can just abuse that tremendously. So yeah, she is kind of broken because of the invincibility, and I bet that's the reason why they decided to make her a bit squishy. A bit squishy. But okay, I managed. This is the first time that I clear 140 on green. I can tell you that. I mean, there are some builds that might work with mix, but I don't have any particular mix builds right now. And now, let's check the performance while farming and also on BR, because it is different when you do team content and when you do dailies. So, of course, right now the appropriate difficulty for me would be expert. So we're gonna do expert. I'm gonna be doing this, and I'll show you my farming build. This isn't even that great. So what can I use? I just put this and this to do missions, basically, to complete the character release missions. But source wall is not bad. I can keep it. This one is not bad either, but I don't get the range increase. So I would rather unequip it and get orbital slash. Yeah, basically orbital slash, source wall, and most importantly, swordsmanship. What am I using? The weapon, the magatamas, yeah, everything is the same over here, but on the supported department, I don't have damage increase. It's just Yasuna for the drops, Mercy for the drops, and Amane for the drops. For the not for the drops, for the skill points. So, and on the formations, what do I have? Increased critical damage of range attacks, increased damage dealt by machine type characters, which I'm not using right now, increased critical rate of range attacks and damage of range attacks, and increase range. Okay, like increase range overall. That's what I'm using here. So let me just use a potion, like 2, and that's it. So you're gonna see that she's very effective on clearing dailies. I did it just with the basics. But you could also do, well, the problem is I don't think a wave is gonna stand these attacks, but maybe if I don't position myself properly, yeah, you see that. The the leader skill is extremely good for farming too. So not only you have great skills overall to do this, you also have the whole leader skill to carry you on farming. Okay, yeah, I go here and I just do basics because basics busted. And then, yeah, finally, let's see. Over here, I would just do a basic to orbital to leader skill, then walls to leader skill, and the active just cause, and that's it. Yeah, she's really good for farming. She's really good for the mid game and early game, especially with that invincibility. Like we know when we started playing this game on the early stages, invincibility was super useful. And a character that just has invincibility integrated into their kit is going to be amazing. Now, let's check the performance on Taima 5 VR. So, what team am I going to use? Am I going to use this? I'm not sure. I don't think so. So, number one, I do need a healer, so I'll keep Felicia over here. Felicia. I'm going to change it so that she doesn't deal as much damage. I'm gonna put the Momochi weapon instead so that she's supportive, and I'm gonna put some HP Magatamas just cause. Let's put those water Magatamas. Okay, good enough. So that we reduce the the damage that this character is able to do. I mean, I think it's for the best if I do that. What supportive skills do I want? Yeah, this is going to increase my damage. This is going to increase the damage of my main attacker. Do I have something else that I can use to enhance the performance on green? Do I care about going pure green? Kinda. I'll just add, where is she? I'll just add Yachio. If I can find Yachio, that is. For healing. Yeah, Yachio for healing. Okay. Vampiric Zone, Slaying Spree, and Sanguine Smash. Then over here, I'm gonna just remove these Magatamas and these Magatamas. And then I put Maya. The question is what color? I guess red is fine. So I'll do this. And whatever wind. Nice. And since I want red, what is... I'm doing anti-human. Okay. Anti-boss. But anti-trait is blue. Okay. I'm debuffing the enemy? Yes. Love F2P. Yeah, I can just use like a generic 40% damage increase and that's it. Yeah. Generic 40% damage increase. Basically. That's all that I need. And then... Chisu. I guess Chisu is like the best option. So I put Chisu. Because we want to enhance Maya Cordelia and we want to check the performance of Maya, not everyone else. So Chisu. Where is Chisu? Here is Chisu. Okay, so obviously she's gonna use the ambitious weapon. I guess I'll put more HP increase Magatamas. Do I have like only wind? Okay, I guess I'll re-equip Felicia. Do I have what element? Okay, I'll put blue. Because I have some blue. Like, yeah, it doesn't matter honestly. It's just that I need them to be maxed out. That's all. For the stats, the effects doesn't matter on the other row. The color doesn't really matter that much, so I guess I'll go with a classic blue. With this, and you can start using these guys. You can start using Azusa, but I'll just keep Haru just cause. I could equip. I guess I will equip Azusa because it's not gonna last that long. So mantra, I'm gonna change mantra for Guardian Lantern. Dream Lanterns, for the damage increase, and these for the super armor. Okay, great, nice. And Cordelia, this one for ease of access, and I guess this one. I don't quite like it, but okay, let's use it. Okay. As for this, Maya is going to be red, so let's increase everything that's red and keep that melee damage increase. A bit of penetration, a bit of critical, and damage overall. That should be it. Yes. Now let's see how good Maya is on... I don't even remember what floor. 930, okay. On 930. So I'll just use this and it's done. Like, she's good. She's good. But, well, perhaps I'm being a bit... oof. No, I think not. I don't think I'm being a bit too rough with the evaluation. As you see, she struggles with survivability. Damage she can deal. It's not top tier damage. That's like obvious. Usually new characters don't release with that much damage. They release with usable damage, with damage to clearing for clearing different standard content and defending themselves on challenging content, but not damage to just demolish it. That only comes with the decisive sets and renewal weapons. Okay, well, can you do it? Can you do it? Yes, you can. Of course you can, right, Maya? There. Nice, nice. Yeah, I can see Maya. Okay. So, let's check it. So we already evaluated the weapons. We already saw what she can equip. Basically, even though she has the whole roster, or well, not roster, gear for Ragnarok and Ingrid, there's basically 3 weapons that are not exclusive to her that she can use effectively. Blue Lightsaber, Candy Saber, and the Momochi weapon. Then there's the Gacha weapon and the Ambitious weapon for her. Both are good, but the Ambitious weapon is way better and it's noticeable. Then, let's see. Maya. Talking about skills, before I give my evaluation, I have to mention a couple things about the skills. So, you may have noticed that she struggles with survivability and damage, even though she has this. I didn't use it, right? Well, try it yourself if you get this character. It is just annoying that I can just accidentally interrupt my healing. It is extremely annoying. That should happen first, before the teleport, before casting the sphere. Let's hope that Gremory changes that in the future. Overall, the skills feel kind of wacky. All the green synergies for defense are not taking advantage of all the supporters that we have. Green focuses on dealing critical damage. So they should be a bit more aggressive. Even if this has only the critical rate increase, it deals decent damage by itself, and the binding property is useful, though risky nonetheless, especially with range attacks coming from the boss. Um, the blue skills, the blue speed reduction effects are helpful, sure, but they are not going to stop the enemy on their tracks. And if you want to build a selfish attacker, they usually slap like the generic either defense reduction or speed reduction. Useful effects, viable effects, but for solo content, this is not like the greatest thing. It's just usable. For team content, you can abuse that and make it so that the enemy doesn't move, and that's great. But you have so many other options when doing team content. On red, it's nice that she has damage increase, but you may have noticed that I never use Southern Cross. I barely use Orbital Slash and Sword Territory. It's just like with Micah. She just doesn't want to use those skills because they get outshined. Orbital Slash has a nice AoE, okay damage, but the wind up animation puts you in danger, so you prefer not to use it, even though it has value, the damage reduction, the big AoE, the speed reduction. You would rather use the alternatives just to avoid that one. And well, should you get Maya Cordelia? Probably just to enhance your account and maximize farming. And probably because of collection purposes and the fact that she's going to be limited. There's no need to buy the pack. It is worth noting that her package over here works different than other packages. So, any character pack comes with the character, ambitious weapon, and gems. But collab characters are a bit different. Anna Rose comes with her ambitious weapon character, gems, and a copy of her supporter. Maya doesn't have a supporter, but her package comes with the desired skin. Not bad, not bad. And right now the jump up package comes with extra goodies and also the jump up skin. I strongly suggest you avoid this because it is not that great right now, unfortunately. I bet she's gonna become better in the future. But she's just too squishy for her own good and doesn't deal enough damage unless you go hyper offensive. But even so, you have to have some amount of damage reduction. You saw it with the red build. I was using defensive formations so that I didn't get one shot, and I received a hit that almost deleted my character. So yeah, unfortunately, I do not recommend it if you want a good character for the end game. Early game and mid game, it's decent. You may have fun with this character. You're gonna enjoy it. It is not difficult to build, thankfully, thanks to the fact that you can just equip Blue Lightsaber. Unfortunately, this is going to drop in usage as you increase your weapons and as you expand into LR rarity. So, well. And another thing is that you'll probably want to buy the package. Maybe not now, because it is expensive. Maybe you can buy it at a discount later, whenever it reruns, and just get the character for gems. When you buy the pack, and you already have the character, you get your gems refunded. So that's good. Anyways, that's about it for today. Let me know what you think about this character. Let me know if you're going to buy it or not, if you agree, if you disagree, if you think she's cool, if you just don't care about the meta and are gonna get it and have fun with it anyway. And that's it for today, and I'll be seeing you next time. Bye.